Do you feel like church would be a better experience at home if it was on Zoom and
No,
everyone was on Zoom?
no, you have too many interruptions.
No, like say
I know
mics
they
were
would be
muted
muted
while
for
the
sure. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
would
say
have
they were
to,
muted.
you would have to strictly mute everyone. No option
Yeah.
of unmuting.
We do Zoom on Tuesday night, and people still mess up the
Yeah,
like they don't know to turn their mic off. You can't always hear the
listen,
speaker.
as a person who uses Zoom every day for teaching first and second grade, I don't want to see Zoom.
Hmm.
You don't want to see the faces praising God, like
No,
feeling.
Most of the time on Zoom, they don't even got their camera on.
no, absolutely.
But
not.
you don't want to see that either. People are not getting Sunday's best prepared. Like you don't want to see somebody in their scarf,
Yeah.
Doing that or
You don't want to see, like, what if you just saw me on Sunday? Like,
You
you
don't
want
want to
to
see
feel
someone.
moved?
You don't want to see someone 65 years old up to the camera like.
Yeah. That's all you see.
Yeah, no, that's a recipe for disaster. No Zoom church. No Zoom church.
No Zoom church.
No Zoom church.
Like we'll see whenever we get back to physical in church, cool. But until no Zoom church.
No Zoom church.
I'm for Zoom church. I want to see people reactions. I want to see.
Are you going to get on camera though?
I would get on camera if everyone else got on camera. Yes, I would get on camera.
No, you said if everyone else got on camera. I've been on Zooms where everybody is a blank screen and then only like 2-3 people on camera, so everybody's watching. But that's what it would be. You're not going to have all these people in the church and everybody not going to be on video.
Do you think people fall out in their seats some Sundays? Like it hit them and they just
fall off the toilet. Fall off the toilet. They be screaming like, hallelujah. Oh.
Like they be in the kitchen making breakfast and
that's literally what it would be. Medical condition.
That's literally what it would be. It would be you in that person's house that Sunday morning. And that's already distracting as is. You'll be scrolling through people's pages, like what they doing? What the kitchen look like?
Yeah.
You don't want none of that. You don't want nothing.
Like, that's exactly what I'll be doing.
In church, that's what church is. That's what I'm saying. In church, we already have people looking at people's clothes, hats, shoes, dresses, all that other stuff. We don't need more of that. No Zoom church. All together now. No Zoom church. To the left now. No, I'm not playing. Hey, no Zoom church. All right. What's up, everybody? My name is Ricky B, and welcome to another episode of Turn to Your Neighbor, the show where me and some of my very good friends invite you into some of our most intimate and sometimes ridiculous conversations and debates. And today, y'all, I'm here with my two brothers, Kean Spady and Amrit Gordon. Man, we go way back. We grew up in church together, and we have plenty of conversations and debates over the years. And today, we're going to share it with y'all. So without further ado, my name is Ricky B. This is Turn to Your Neighbor. And today, we're going to chat with Kean and Amrit. Let's go. All right, y'all. So what's going on? What's going on, Amrit, Kean? I feel like the three of us haven't got together in so long.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been since your wedding, bro.
It feels like it. Like maybe Nadia and Tim when that was probably the last time we got together before the whole COVID hit back in, what was that, November?
Yes, definitely.
No, it was October. It was
that was September.
End of September.
Yeah, I remember getting the flashbacks on my Snapchat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good times. So
but yeah, so we grew up in church together. Like we knew each other for a long time. Now I look back at it. It's actually been maybe a decade since we knew
we've known of each other for a long time.
Yeah.
In church, I don't know. My experience in church is of people. You don't actually know them until later on. It's people I've seen my whole life and I just met them a year ago.
A big church like ours. Especially at the peak when it was 1,000 people. These 3 people. But you don't want to get relationship. We didn't really grow to the young adult ministry when it was kind of all growing up. So I feel we didn't really know each other in our younger years.
Yeah, I knew faces. I didn't know names, not even. So
same.
It wasn't until after college that I met. Well, Kean I met in college, and Ricky I met you after college. Like it was, I didn't know anyone.
Yeah, I knew Ken because of his family, and like he was always there at every event. I always joke with Aaron, like, you didn't even go to this church. I've never seen you. Like, so question, like, how does it, like, do you feel like you, to be a part of a church, you have to be involved in a ministry or like seen like that? Or like, how does it feel? Because you always had, like, you had your seat, you sat with your family. Like, do you feel like, how was that experience for you?
I feel like I wasn't involved in a lot of ministries, but I still was throughout the years. I was involved in some little things. Like I was a part of the Boy Scouts through New Covenant, like Tuesday night Bible studies. I always went with my mom. You know, we were part of the youth church when it was old Pastor Chuck. And so after a while, honestly, I got tired of like the youth church. I just wanted to go to the main service. And maybe it was because I was shy, maybe I was more introverted, but I was truly comfortable
with adults,
going with the adults, hearing the sermons, church being over, going home. The youth services were a little off the chain. And
to say the least, lights, cameras, action, right?
Yeah, to say it very least. And a lot of it I even agree with, to be honest. Like, so I was kind of just
like, what part didn't you agree with?
Growing up, like some of the messages, like the different messages, because it felt like at the time, like it felt like such a contradiction, like almost like I would see youth leaders and on Sunday they would talk this game, but then the rest of the week would seem like a different game. And I was a younger teenager when I started going, so it made sense after a while why, you know, everything isn't black and white. But I just felt like being with the adults, I just felt like it should be that way. I didn't need these messages to me about, well, you know, stop messing up, stop doing this. I wasn't even doing half of that stuff. So it wasn't hitting home for me. And then one Sunday they was like, all right, we're going to smash our CDs. And that was kind of extreme for me at the time. I can't lie. I love hip hop.
No, smash all your secular music.
Yeah. I remember that day I had to throw away a Rockaware hoodie. Just got that. My mom was like, what? I was like, Mom, I can't wear this no more. I just bought you that hoodie. I bought you that. No, it's the coat with the fur on it. I just bought you that coat. That's a good coat. You're not throwing that. That's a winter coat right there. You're not throwing that coat away. I was like, it has an R on it. I can't wear it. I need one with a J on it.
Yeah. It felt like we were being told to do things, but the explanation wasn't the most thorough explanation. And so it did hit home for me. And I feel like everyone else running, and they broke up their CDs and then they would just go back and get their bootlegs off the corner. So the lifestyle never stops. So that's why I said, let me just chill. Maybe I could start taking notes in the actual service and getting something more. And I actually did.
Yeah, great.
Something like that is very extreme though. Like if the pastor or the youth leader is saying, I'm going to break my own CDs and not listen to it, cool. But he made y'all do it too?
Yeah, everyone was doing it. People had their slow jams.
He ain't smashed his Earth, Wind, and Fire CDs.
Exactly.
He had Teddy Pendergrass in the car. A-track.
Exactly. It just seemed like, and I don't know, when you lead with guilt, like with the guilt preaching and stuff like that, I don't know, it kind of feels unnatural. It's like, is this what this is supposed to feel like? Is everything truly bad? Like it came down to where it made it seem like regular TV at times was like Pokemon, like it's some sermons out there like where Pokemon was of the devil. And it's like, really? Like Harry Potter is of the devil. Like
still haven't watched it.
Me either.
Same.
I really haven't.
I've never seen Harry Potter.
And I can understand, like, okay, Harry Potter is evil, but Aladdin isn't. Like, it's all. Why are we picking and choosing? That's what it seemed like at the time.
Like, yeah, I get you. Like, it was extreme, but it didn't come with the explanation that matched it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but why? You know,
right. And you can't even ask that question to them either. If you can't ask like, yo, why are we doing this? Or if you ask them, it's like, you can't talk that.
As a kid, it's like, all right, he set his sermon up. He pulled up the facts he wanted to pull up, and okay, cool. But like, I appreciate you for thinking deeper than a lot of us, and just asking questions. Not even saying that the preacher was wrong with his conclusion, but like not giving you the evidence of like how personally, like for my life, this is.
Yeah, but it was an interesting time, and even one time I think they played like 50 Cent PIMP, like that first verse, and everyone in there knew it because that was like the hottest song at the time. Everyone knew it, and the youth pastor played the uncensored version. And
really, I think it telling stuff that nobody knows. I think it's telling stuff that nobody knows.
That's serious.
Because I'm saying right now, like if certain parents found out this stuff back then, they wouldn't have sent them back to youth service.
I'm sure some did once they found out. This was.
Did your parents ever know this?
No, well, I'm not going to go home and tell my parents like. My parents wouldn't even know who 50 Cent was at the time, much less.
But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. He just played the verse,
but what was the purpose of it?
I think to drive home the fact that this is not innocent. This is not good. You shouldn't be putting this on your spirit.
Oh, he played it to say like, listen to what you're listening, pay attention to what you're listening to.
Yeah, like because first it came on, and everyone like, oh, but when that cuss word hit, that right near the chorus, it just hit different. The sense of shame hit different, and I don't know. I felt like people rebelled because after a while it's like, so we're not supposed to listen to rap at all, and this is the music of our generation. All rap is bad, so
and that's the thing too. Like they generalized it with rap for certain things, but like you said, if you go back to the 80s and the 70s, that music had a lot of topics that go against I'm not Christianity, but like the same way you could do with rap, you could do with those songs.
Yeah, it's like don't guilt me into Christ, like love me into Christ.
Yeah.
Like show me the love that I need, and show me the love of Christ. Don't guilt me into it, because then it's like, come on, man, it's not even.
And I'll say this too: you gotta let me make the choice, because I'll be. If you make me bring my CDs in there that you back then you paid $20 for, $25 for, or however much you paid for it, and you expect me to break it, I'll watch them break it. I'm not breaking my CDs. Like, and that's my choice. And that's the good thing about like Christianity. Like, you're not gonna make me do, like, it's my choice to follow, my choice to do whatever. So yeah, they could break it, but like you said, they still listen to that music. Everybody there still listen to whatever they want to listen to. And the same way they could quote that song, they could have quoted 100 songs too. Like, you're not gonna stop somebody from listening to music that they like.
So you would say it didn't work, both of you? Would you guys say it didn't work for the most part?
I wasn't there.
No, I just mean overall, like that whole message of listening to secular music. Do you feel that message worked for our generation, or it kind of fell on deaf ears?
So I feel like in the moment, because I don't remember it at my church particularly, but I remember that we went to a conference in New Orleans, and we caught a bus from Philly to New Orleans. And there was a whole bunch of younger youth at the time, teenage, high school, whatever. And the pastor, he preached about like the same thing, like Jay-Z, the Lucifer song, Brandon back, like, so it was like, whoa, in the time it hit hard, like, no, because when you're in a conference, like, it's just God is moving, like, you're going for a reason. But long term, it was still not really an explanation. It was like, listen to this. This is wrong. These words are wrong. And when you hear that inside of a church, you can feel like, whoa, right? Because I was expecting Mary, or not even Mary. I was expecting, some traditional gospel, and now you're bringing this into the church, and now I feel super bad. So you get that guilt in the moment, but like, it's kind of like a temporary shame.
Yeah.
Because when you go back to your life, it's like, wait, but why? What was the message? Like, it's deeper than that, you know?
Yeah.
Even love songs, like now I'm in love. What am I supposed to, can I express that in a way musically? You know, or I'm angry or pissed off. Can I express that musically? You know, or does everything I have to do be uplifting? Like, because that's not my everyday life. Like I'm not always hallelujah. Sometimes I'm like, this is some mess. Right. So how do I express that? And I feel like that explanation wasn't said. Like artists are expressing themselves in that moment. Some artists are going to trend, just trying to make money, but good artists, real artists are, you know, expressing their true feelings through their music. And I'm like, I can relate to that because I've been upset, I've been angry, I've been in love, I've been horny, like I've been these things. So like, how can you explain like why is that bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is expressing yourself bad?
Yeah, like I definitely think it's something too. I definitely think you do have to be careful of what you listen to and what you put on your spirit. But at the same time, I feel like I can't tell if I were to raise a child, I couldn't necessarily tell them what's good and what's bad if I'm not a part of that generation. Like it's easy for someone to look at the Jay-Z Lucifer song and say, devil worshiper. But if you not of that generation and you can't even understand the lyrics, you realize that's about something completely different. The sample is from somewhere else. Like it makes
I didn't hear it until I was like 30.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I couldn't look at the younger generation right now and say, I don't understand that, but it sounds crazy. That's of the devil. Like I can't do that. You actually have to listen and be able to hear the younger generation's opinion before you can, you know, let them make their own decision and give them your opinion at the end. Like, well, if they talking about, you know, killing themselves, it's probably not what you want to be listening. I think we'll listen, you know, where the younger generation will listen. I think we listen to an extent, like, because I feel like there were a bunch of people that listened to certain music growing up and they let that influence them to make bad decisions. And so maybe the church did it a little bit too much. And maybe that scared some people away because it felt like it's like doing a diet, and the diet is so extreme that you give up on the diet after 2 weeks or as soon as you're away from those that are telling you to do the diet. It's not really sustainable because look how much good music Drake makes, Kanye makes that isn't about anything. You can't really say it's any different than the love songs from the 90s, 80s, 70s. But we can't listen just because it's hip hop. It doesn't.
I think it was a combination of hatred or fear of hip hop or change to hip hop and rap. Combination of that, like, whoa, what is that? Now we can just, you know, bash it. And the fact that the lyrics were like super abrasive. I think a better approach would have been like, pay attention to what you listen to. How do you feel when you listen to it? What does it make you want to do? Does your thoughts or turn into your actions? You know, like think about how much are you putting in? You know, are you getting uplifting music as well? Like, what's the balance? Literally go back home and just be conscious of what you put into your body. And I feel like that would have been a more manageable, understandable, realistic type thing than saying, burn it. I'm like, so yeah, I get you. And I feel like as you grow up, you learn at your own pace. Because, you know, I'm having revelations about what I put into my body now. But like, just looking back, I'm like, that was like a temporary, like as you said, like the diet thing. Like, let's be realistic, you know, about what's real.
I got a question because hip hop is so expressive, so unapologetic. That's where it stems from pretty much. And so the language, even though they try to make it seem like it's just the rappers that speak like that, this is pretty much common language that, you know, they put into their songs. How do you guys feel about language, cursing in music? Do you even believe in curse words per se?
Yeah, interesting.
Good question, bro.
Do you believe in curse words? Yeah, but like people say it now, like it's just because we've been like programmed to think certain words are bad. Like if I say it's like the tone of it. So they said if I say flowers in like the same tone that I say the F word or something, does it have the same like? It doesn't feel the same because yeah, those words are strong. I feel like those words are strong for a reason, but like it's had so much time. But like in terms of like in music you don't always need it, but sometimes I'm not mad at it. So it's certain songs that I know that I love from certain artists and it has curse words in it. And I'm like, sometimes the curse word make the song better, if that makes sense. Like you can't have a jigama whatever. So like you have to like certain curse words make the song better than it is without it. Like Will Smith, as great as a rapper that people think he was, I don't even think people give him the respect he needs. But that could be another one where you talk about Will Smith. But he didn't curse a lot. But he's never like if you talk about rappers, people still don't really consider him a rapper now. If you look back now and like today's artists, they don't look at Will Smith as one of those rappers, even though he was like big back then. But like if you and I think a lot of that is because he didn't curse. Like his topics and his subject matter, it wasn't that of like a street person or someone growing up in certain environments. He didn't relate to people as much, I guess, or not to this generation or like our generation as much.
Traditional hip hop, like street. Yeah, it's like gang. It's like.
But I think it was though, because you had Kid and Play, and you had Will Smith, and you had a lot of people like that. But they just never. Hello. But they didn't age well. Like their music didn't age as well as like a NWA or one of those type of hip hop groups. Because nobody says, "Oh yeah, let me go put on Kid and Play." If you didn't watch House Party, you're not really gonna want to listen to Kid and Play.
To be honest,
Kid and Play come on in a club or anywhere, you're not really getting hyped to that.
Yeah, but back to curse words, that was a good question. It made me think. So, like, I guess me personally, I don't put a lot of values on words and vocabulary anyway. I do believe there's power in the tongue, but I don't believe that there's that much power to a particular word. Like if someone said "F you," son of a whatever, I can be like, okay, But if someone said like "I hate you" or like you disappointed me, like it's like the feeling. It's like, what did I do? Like, because someone can walk in here and say any. Like I work at a school, kids when they're upset, they go off, they say whatever, right? Man, every word that they learned before 13, and they're just going off, giving you the finger, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, calm down, go over there, sit down. Like the words don't faze me. It's more of like, yo, Mr. Brown, like I'm disappointed, like you let me down, or like it's more of a like, why are they saying this? Like what's their feel? Are they saying it because they're just mad and going off, or are they saying something like, from like emotional pull towards me? Like, so I don't really give power to the word because even in songs, like some people put it in because it rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I'm not. It's a word. Like, and rhyming is a craft, and it's a skill.
Yeah.
But like, I'm more of an emotion. Like, what's your emotion behind the word? Like, I love you can mean so much more than any curse word. Like the word I hate you, or I'm disappointed, or you dishonor, like things like that. That holds more weight to me than an actual like 4-letter, 5-letter word.
Someone come to you and say, "I hope you die." Like that energy that's behind it. Could be worse than the curse word.
It's like, what did I do to make that person? Yeah. So like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what word comes out of it. I hope you die and go to HE double hockey stick or FU or whatever. Like, what's behind it? Like, you can use whatever you want. Like the creative people, the people who actually have a great vocabulary, they can express themselves in more words than just going to like a curse word. I feel like, I was joking with someone the other day, and I posted a status. I made a post on Facebook that was like, it was just like not creative or artistic, but it was offensive. And I was like, and it was like, yo, you should probably take that down because like, you know, you could really mess somebody up. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm more creative and I'm more educated to get my point across in a way like that's more, you know, they won't just see the curse word. They'll actually see my point. And I was like, my fault. I'm actually more creative. I can think of a better way to say how I'm feeling that.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like it's context. I feel like even young kids, I feel like young kids, because it's the cool word to say, they just become, you know, vomit, diarrhea of the mouth, and just curse as much as they can.
Everything's better when your mom says you can't say it.
Exactly.
Like, your mom says you couldn't say pineapples. You're going to school and you're like, oh, pineapples, dog. Like, or you're like, pineapples. Like, you're going to say everything's enhanced, especially at an immature age when parent figure or someone above you says you shouldn't do it. It's like, now I'm definitely going to do it.
It's interesting.
We just made this cool.
You said HE double hockey stick. So like we would say like A double snakes. Like we wouldn't say the word ever. You make up a different way.
I haven't said that in years.
I'm like, but I just like, why is it so bad to say hell?
That's what some words get a pass now too. I feel like damn is no longer a cuss word. Like,
my family got it.
Yeah. Well, certain things I think are still frowned upon. So like what they used to say is if you see it in the Bible, you should be able to say it. So if you see damn in the Bible or hell in the Bible, or you say like they talk about donkey and then it's A double snakes. Like, see, I'm not even going to say that on camera. But
I'm a little bit and put on your Facebook.
But it's just because even on TV now, I see them saying the S word or the F word like on TV, which like before it would be bleeped out or edited out. But like you said, like I feel like I don't know, words are losing not their power, but they don't like people don't care as much about the words now as they did before. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
It's weird because we're caring about some things more than ever, and we're not caring about other things more than ever now. It's a weird vibe. The last couple of years have been like all over. Like you can't say the F word, but not the F word that used to describe gay people. Right?
Yeah.
That thing has been canceled. Like
exactly.
You say that, you're getting flagged. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like when I was growing up, that was the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like some words are holding more weight. It's an interesting time.
It is. It's definitely. Yeah. I just feel like words are just words, you know, until it becomes offensive to someone. I just feel like it's knowing when it's appropriate to use certain words. Like I may talk different with y'all off camera than I will on camera because I know other eyes may see it, and I don't want to come off. It's a fine line because honestly, I don't really care what people think that much, but there are certain people I do care about that I wouldn't want to see it. But the rest,
right,
for sure,
I don't want to offend, but you know,
the rest, I felt like if you wasn't on camera, you said, the rest, yo, F them.
Right, like my group text is not the same as when I'm in church on Sunday. It just is what it is.
And I don't think you cussing out your people or you bringing down curses on your people just because you're using conversation. Like they said, MLK used to say the N-word jokingly with his people.
There's a lot of people in, how do I say this? Spiritual leaders that use the N-word in jest, like this Negro or like whatever. Like and it's like, you know, like how much weight, how much power are you giving the word? You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole different subject because what color are you? So like that's a whole
I didn't hear them say Negro.
Like,
I felt like I've seen Kirk Franklin, I've seen Mike Todd, I've seen people on Breakfast Club and things like that. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I felt like when they were on the show, they were trying to sort of relate to the audience of the show, like the younger generation. That might be how they talk, but it didn't feel like, I don't know. When I watched it, it didn't feel natural for them. Like it felt like, oh yeah, you know what? Can I say this word? Oh, I'm gonna say it, and they said it.
I'm sure they felt that way on the radio. It's like, should I say this word on the radio? And they're like, man, let's go.
Or I don't even think it's because it was on the radio. I think it's because of who you are. If you're calling yourself Pastor Mike Todd, or you like it's that's like hearing Pastor Bob or Bishop Granum. Like if you heard Bishop Granum say the N word, like that would freak me out. Like I would never imagine someone of that stature to use that type of language.
I don't think it's the stature. I think it's the personality. Like I can't picture Bishop saying that ever, but I could picture Pastor Bob saying it.
I couldn't.
Like I don't think it's. I think it's like the. I think it's the person. Like I'm not saying who knows, right? But I'm just saying like
yeah.
I don't feel like it's the title. Now I feel like you have to conduct yourself in a certain way, but I feel like we're all people. Like who do you think? And I don't want to throw any more names out there, but like just think like who do you think drinks wine at their house? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's like some people can be like, oh, I could probably see him. Same title. But no, I don't think I'll see him. Same respect. I just feel like it's a whole like, or like, and why is that such a big deal? You know, do they have to keep it on the wraps? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, how do you feel? Would you lose respect? Like,
absolutely not. I understand. Like, I feel like, when in a position where everyone's looking at you, you don't want to cause someone else to fall off their way. Like, you know, if I struggle with alcohol and my pastor admits he drinks wine, like, well, if he can do it, you know, I can do it. But it's like, no, we're two different people, man. Like, this not my vice. This is not my struggle, you know what I'm saying? I can do this in moderation. Some people can't. And I understand being a pastor, you have so many people coming to you from whatever thing. So you don't want to put anything out there to, you know, hinder their growth. But like, I wouldn't judge or look anyone different for like, you know, sipping wine or like even saying certain words, like being a person.
Exactly.
So let's go on. Let's stay on this subject about like your pastor sipping wine, because we've had this conversation before where like it's certain times where it's just like you said, the personality type. So if I went into a bar and I saw certain like I'm not gonna say pastors, but like people in your church, if you saw them in a bar like drinking a wine or beer, like certain people it would shock you, certain people it might not shock you so much. How would you feel if you found out like your pastor smoked weed, like still smokes weed, or like drinks, you know, liquor, or like if you saw your pastor or you know, drinking like some hard liquor or smoking weed, like would you feel a different type of way about them? Would you feel closer to your pastor? Would you feel like farther away? Like how are you my spiritual leader and you're doing these things?
Again, I wouldn't look at them in a different way. No, it would be different, but maybe not a negative way. Like,
so it would be different though.
Like, all right, so the Christmas gift I'm giving you is different this year. It's levels to this, like moderation, right? So I was never a weed guy, so like I don't really know how to dive into that, but I can relate to hard liquor. And like if you had a birthday and you take a shot with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not a thing where I'm not like, what's your intention? Like I'm celebrating champagne at a wedding, like things like that. Is like I'm going out. Like I don't think it's the act. I really think it's the motive behind the act. It's like why am I drinking? You know what I'm saying? Like am I drinking to forget about X, Y, and Z? Am I drinking to cope? Am I smoking because, you know, it's the only thing I can control and I'm tired of being out of control of my life. Am I trying to forget things? Like, but if like my thing was always drink when you're happy, don't drink when you're sad. That's always been my thing. Like, and that's just personal. That's because that keeps me, you know, out of the dark places, whatever. Like, you know, drink when you're happy, don't drink when you're sad. But I do it with everything you do in moderation. So I can't judge someone for like Like if a pastor smoked, I'd be like, oh, snaps. All right, so now we can talk about. Now I'll actually feel more comfortable. Like, look, I had too many. How do you just? What's your motto? Like, it would be conversation starter.
That sounds crazy though. Like, yeah, you talk to your pastor like, yo, who's your weed guy? Yeah, yo, set me up.
I ain't say weed. I don't know nothing about weed. I don't know nothing about illegal substances. You're not getting my podcast.
But should your pastor be that familiar with it though? Like your spiritual leader, like should they be familiar with that type of thing? Maybe if they've done it in their past, but like if they're still doing it today, like do you still feel like you can be like led by someone like that, saying, giving you this advice? Same thing that goes back to the music. Like somebody telling you to break all your CDs, yet if you go and listen to their iPod right now, they probably got things in there that they shouldn't have. They probably still had it in their car back when they told you to smash their CDs. Like,
right.
I don't know. It's like when people tell you not to do something, or they, but they doing stuff themselves.
But should there be a point when they stop? Like, are you talking about like, say, if a pastor was a drunkard or
no? I'm saying right now. I'm not talking about in your past. Judge Mathis always talks about his past and all the stuff he did. If you found out Judge Mathis was still in like the crack pipe or shooting up heroin, like you would look at his words differently. But like your spiritual leader, if you found out that your pastor smoked weed right before he gave a sermon, like that wouldn't be like a cause of concern to you?
It would definitely be a cause of concern. Oh, for sure. But yeah, for sure. But it'd be like, so what, pastor? Why are you smoking? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I'll be asking them that afterwards. I would have already left the church by then.
No, I mean, look, that's like saying, so say,
and it wouldn't be pastor. It would be whatever your name is. You no longer get that moniker from me.
Hey, yo, Steve. All right, so look, so what if what if they were like, Ricky, we want you to be a deacon, right? And my life does not change from today and yesterday, Deacon Brown to Ricky Brown. Like, would I be shameful to the deacons? Like,
by stereotypical church standards, yes.
I'm talking about to y'all.
To me, no, I don't think so, because I feel like if I feel that your walk in Christ is true, I'm not of the belief that a substance that you enjoy, well, if it's an illegal, like,
he went heroin and he went all that.
Yeah, if you doing that, crack pipes and whatnot, then yeah, I got a big problem with that. But if it's weed or liquor or something like that, then I don't have as big of a problem with it, as long as you're honest about it. I feel like a pastor is like a politician. They have to let it be known where they stand. You can't get up there preaching on Sunday and give off this image that you live one type of way and at home you live in a different type of way. That's the only issue that I would have.
That is huge, bro. Like that's the part that be like, no, I'm out. Because you done stand up there and lie. Like, I know it's not an easy thing, but I at no point in my life do I expect any person, whatever your title is, to be perfect.
Right.
Right. And I understand, like, if Judge Mathis, he did heroin, all that stuff, and he relapsed tomorrow and was like, yo, I can't believe that. I know my body was going through it. I had a definite, like, whatever his thing was, like, and I saw that needle and I was doing it and I was like, man, and I fell. I'm like, yo, you fell, but let's get back up. Like, it's not like that's always been my thing. Now, if you're like, that's why the conversation is so important. It's like, why are we doing this? Like, are we doing this do you think this is cool? Are you trying to hide it? Like, are you trying to get better? Like, because I've tried to get better at stuff. So I can definitely sympathize, empathize, relate to someone trying to improve themselves and not all the way there yet. No matter what position, no one is going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So but the honesty thing and the doubles and the behind closed door stuff, that's the turnoff stuff.
But you said you find out your pastor relapse, and you say, yo, you falling, let's get back up. Is he going to get back up and be your pastor? Right now, he got to go on a break. He got to go on a sabbatical for like a year. he got to come back. You got to see that, like, you don't just go to rehab, come out and like you got to go through a process. He ain't just gonna be up there giving me sermons again. Like, you falling, all right, you falling, but like it's a slow rehab process. Like it ain't just gonna happen. You ain't like he can give his testimony. Like he can come up give his testimony, but I ain't gonna be calling him pastor.
Why not?
Not at that point.
You would call a doctor if he smoked weed. Like, how you gonna take away my man's letters?
It's different. It's different. Like you expect it to have a certain standard or a certain level that you live up to. Like if you know what? I say that now, and then people could bring up all types of names of other pastors.
So here's the thing. I was about to bring up like, so say, who's my guy? David. My guy David in the Bible, right? He was a king. He knocked up what's her name while her man was gone, and then had him killed.
I know.
David, still a man of God's own heart.
But you heard
his heart.
You hear his title. He's a king.
Okay,
he's a king. It's different rules.
Moses. I know him. I don't think there were no pastors back then, so this is a little weird.
And whatever you say about Moses, I have you come back with Moses because he never saw the promised land. So
Yeah, but he did walk with God. But he did walk with the only one that somebody else was the only ones. I can't.
That got called up.
That got called up or something. No, who was there?
No, Moses didn't get called up.
No, he didn't get called up. He gonna make me go to the.
You're right.
What are you trying to say? Like what? Abraham's bosom.
No. I think someone saw Moses and Jesus at the gate.
You know the verse where Moses is like, does he speak to someone?
He's on the side of God chilling. And
I would have to look that up.
I got you, but I'm just saying.
God, no, I know everybody in the Bible made mistakes. Yeah,
but big sin. I'm talking about big sin, bigger than weed.
Murder.
Yeah. Big sin. Big.
But we in different times now.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Are we really?
We are.
Why you say that?
I
mean, obviously, we in different times.
I'm talking about
we ain't riding on donkeys no more, Amber.
What that mean we're killing somebody? Heart stop still.
Sin is still sin.
No, people still kill now, but like same back then, you repent.
Why so only pastor repent? He still can't be a pastor. Moses repented. He was still.
He ain't gonna be a pastor right away.
Moses ain't stopped being a leader.
Well, and I'll say this because I've seen pastors make mistakes and do that, and you have people in their congregation stay and follow them. Not everybody. I'm not gonna be one of them followers of them anymore. I'm gonna find me a different place. That's just me.
How big does a sin have to be for you to walk?
You're looking for a perfect pastor. You're gonna be church.
No, not a perfect pastor, but there are things that like if you found out that your pastor's married and he knocked up somebody in your congregation, like you gonna still follow that dude?
That's tough. It depends.
It ain't tough for me.
It depends who the girl was.
Yo, you tell me that story. Yo, I'm not even staying for the message. I make sure I don't get my offering. I hope I ain't get my tithes that Sunday. If I gave my tithes that Sunday, I want my tithes back.
Listen, was it someone I was trying to talk to? Did he step on my territory? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be my friend.
So you can never be redeemed after something like that. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying you can't be redeemed. You're just not gonna lead me.
So, but don't you feel like that's corny because everyone sins, and so
you just have hard nose on sins. All sins are equal, but to you they're not. That's what you're saying.
No, people say sin is sin, but like you said, you just said in the biblical days, there was big sin, and then
I'm talking about no. So I don't even think drinking's a sin. So
me either.
So well, I mean, the Bible, like you said, in moderation. It's just like don't drink to be drunk. Don't drink to be drunk.
That's what I'm saying. I heard you.
So I mean, yeah, it's not a sin if Jesus is, turning out gallons of wine for people.
And what do you call? I feel like the abuse. I won't even call being drunk or being that is necessarily an abuse. like, or a sin, I would say. It's all, maybe God left it that way, so it's subjective, each to his
Well, I
own.
mean, anything with abuse. Like we were in a Tuesday night, and they said like God left everything on the earth, like for you to use. So like, but you abuse it. He didn't leave it for you to abuse it. So like marijuana's here. There's beneficial factors to marijuana, but people abuse it or people abuse certain drugs. Like a lot of things have their uses and their benefits, but when you abuse it, that's when it becomes something different.
So
But
I agree. If
go ahead.
the pastor abuses anything, abuses drugs, alcohol, people, the congregation, like money, if he abuses, he needs to be checked.
So wait, so question: if y'all pastor is overweight, y'all think
he needs to be checked because we need him. He needs to be checked.
Doesn't he know? Like in my mind, that's a personal decision.
That's actually a really, really good point.
That's good.
They abusing the food.
No, you can't always call it abuse. Sometimes it's genetic. Like some people are overweight genetically.
Okay, not those people.
Yeah.
so now what? Now that we take these people out.
So let's throw in names again because I don't know these people, so it's not going to have an effect on me. TD Jakes is overweight, but I think he's a great preacher. He's very intellectual. He's good, but like you said, like with weight and like gluttony or things like that, like should you still follow? Not still follow them, but like. What were you saying? Should they address their sins? Should they be checked? You're not gonna check Pastor TD Jake and say, "Yo, Doug, you need to lose some weight," or like, "Yo, you too fat."
I think you absolutely should, especially his wife and his kids and his close.
But he works out. Like I've seen him working out and stuff. So you see people doing things.
That's why I don't think he abuses. I don't think he abuses food. I don't know.
But then I see him making like all these delicious cakes and stuff, and like I know they ain't just going to waste.
No, he's not finishing them off. Like, no, he ain't. I'm just saying, like, I mean, so I think abuse should be checked, not even on just a personal level. Like, if I saw y'all abusing, y'all would not stop being my friends. I would still come to y'all at advice in other areas, maybe not food.
Right.
Like, everyone has their own thing, like, you know what I'm saying? But I would definitely check you, like, yo, Amron, bro, 3 cheesesteaks, bro. 3. I know Delisandro is good, but 3 of them, John.
And then they would say, I'm getting fat shamed. Like it's a fine line with this stuff. Like
no, the preacher wouldn't say it. Other people in the congregation like, oh, you say it now. Like if you mention somebody needs to lose weight or whatever, oh, you fat shaming, you body shaming. It's like a thing where you can't offend people on anything because, like you said, everyone's human. So even if you talk about like your pastor committing adultery, oh, so you've never been tempted either? Like they'll find an excuse to justify anything that you say.
I don't think they're justifying.
A lot of people do, or make.
I never saw someone justify.
Well, I'll say justify is make. Like I've seen a lot of. I don't even want to bring them up because they're so controversial, and I don't even want to mention it. But people, they make excuses. Like if you look at, never mind. I'm not even gonna go into it. I'm not gonna go into it because I'm not trying to get canceled. I'm done.
Right. Here's my thing. Personally, my ear opens more to people who have recently struggled. So like, even like, for example, the marriage ministry, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to teach people about, abstaining and communication and things like that. My ears open up to people who didn't abstain and who struggled with communication. Like not people who never struggled in that area and now are trying to tell me not to do it. If that's something I struggle with. I'm just using examples. But like, the people who have a testimony, right, and are still not perfect, my ear opens like, all right, so what you doing? And how'd you get here? And how do you keep pushing as a person, who might still not be there yet too?
But even with that, when you said like, yeah, with marriage, I want to talk to someone who's recently been through this. With a pastor, you have ministers, you have deacons, you have all these other people in the church. So when you have people go up there and it's a female up there, they'll bring another female up there to pray for her. Or if there's a male up there, to bring another male up there to pray for you. My pastor doesn't have to experience everything that I've experienced, but there's other people. Like I know we had some drug addicts in the church who are now like ministers, or like you have people who were. Oh, I thought you were telling me to stop.
Oh no!
No, I'm saying
that was my praise.
Like people have been through. Like so, you had people who were addicted to alcohol or abuse alcohol, or people who are like that. They turn their life around, and now they're ministers, they're leading people. Those are the people. If you come to and you want to talk about that, you talk to those people. My pastor, I don't want my pastor to experience him putting a needle in his arm, or
that's not. You can't tell. You can't pick your pastor's like struggle.
No, you can't. But I'm not saying you can't pick your pastor's struggles. I'm saying you said like, oh yeah, I want somebody who can relate to that. I don't want my pastor to be able to relate to everything. I don't want him to relate to infidelity and alcohol abuse, and like he can't relate to everything that I'm.
Okay, maybe not everything. Okay, maybe not every sin.
Not a lot of things.
Just say it. Not most things.
Not most negative things.
Yeah, well, that's.
Well, hopefully,
the good story.
Hopefully, no one experiences every negative thing or most negative things.
Yeah,
we all have our certain things, but your pastor will have their certain things too, his or hers.
Yeah,
you can't you can't pick and choose people's. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody pick yours.
No, but you talk about. But yeah, I'm not a pastor. I'm never going to be.
I gave up on telling God what I wasn't supposed to be a long time ago. You'll get there. Go ahead. You'll get there. It's like, go ahead.
I could be one of those people.
You saw him preach on Good Friday, right?
He did good. Yeah.
I didn't preach.
Word. Hallelujah.
I didn't preach.
Good word right there.
I didn't preach. I gave a word. I don't call it preaching. I didn't raise my voice.
Then?
I didn't raise my voice. I didn't
look up the definition of preaching. If it's a octave change or raise,
I just gave a word.
That's what you mean?
So white pastors don't preach.
I've seen white pastors scream.
I really haven't. I can't.
No, I've seen a couple. I've seen people cry.
I've seen
it. The only one I remember that got a little hype.
But screaming ain't preaching, and we're not gonna let that rock. Not on here.
No. And I just put something up about that. Like you don't have to yell, because like it's certain people I hear yell, and that tunes me out from their message. So if you're talking at a calm tone, a normal tone, I'm able to receive you a little bit better than if you're yelling at me. If you're yelling at me, it hypes people up, but it tunes me all the way out.
I receive people who are being themselves, and I can see through that personally. Like if you're a loud person, like if what's her name? The girl from Why Did I Get Married? The loud one with the twin.
The loud.
Tasha.
She started preaching, and she was like, God is good. I'm like, nah. Like I expect her to be loud. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like be yourself. Like don't put on a front. Don't just yell to think that's how you're supposed to preach. If you're not a yeller, don't yell.
Right. But I mean some do.
Don't speak in tongues. First of all, let's talk. Someone mentioned the church making you make you throw your CDs. Church people be trying to make you do some stuff. I remember they tried to make me fall out. Remember they used to lay hands on people?
Go tell your story. I got a story about that too.
I'd be up there, and I was always a little taller than most people, and they I'm like, I'm not falling. Like I received, God is good. He has something for me, but I don't feel like I need to fall.
Right.
Like, and they be trying to get you. I feel like someone trying to trip me in the back of my leg, take my knees out. I'm like, man, I'm not falling today. First of all, I don't trust Buddy behind me. He a little old.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm not, and I don't need no cloth. Like I'm good. I showered. Like, I don't know.
I feel like those youth services were like people. I don't even want to be too crazy with it, but it's like their chance to experiment on us. Like if your parents found out some of the stuff they did, like what you're talking about them trying to make you fall out, like they had us in the line. Like, and they made you get up. I don't normally get up for stuff, but they made you walk up there and stand in a line.
They
so
like everybody with 2 hands and 2 legs get up here.
And even then I still be sitting on my seat until someone, they make you go up.
Right, yeah.
And so I'm going up there. They got a line of the youth, and then pastor's putting his hands on them, and each one is falling down, and screaming, and doing whatever.
I'm looking down the line like.
Yeah, I'm looking down. I'm like, oh,
I got about 3 people. I got about 3 people.
So they get to me, and so they're going down, and then everybody's going down. So like you feel like you have to, but in my mind, I'm like, they ain't gonna push me down. And so they get to me, and he's praying and doing whatever, and then he pushes me in my head and like tries to make me fall back, and I don't fall back. So he pushes me again, and I'm like, I'm not falling, and then like they.
They ain't gonna hit me about twice.
But like it's like I don't understand like what's the point of that? Like, but everybody else fell down, and I know they didn't fall down because it was something happening. I don't think every one of them had something happening. Like they pushed you, and I felt like they fell down because they had to fall down. But you wasn't making me fall down.
Yeah, I guess so. I get like the spirit is the spirit, and I'm not going to tell because I know my parents share stories about how they just fell out. Someone blew on them.
I've heard that too.
Right, so I get that, but like, don't make me do nothing. Like you can't make. Right. Just like speaking in tongues, you can't make me rope toe. Like you can't.
Can you learn to speak in tongues?
I feel like it's a gift, and you got it or you don't.
You talk about that retreat. I know some of the youth who went on that retreat. I don't know if it's the one in New Orleans, but it was one of those youth retreats where they went and they said like they learned how to speak in tongues at the retreat, and they came back and they were able to speak in tongues. And I'm like, is that something that you can like how do you learn how to speak in tongues?
Yeah, no.
I'm asking you because you went on the retreat.
Yeah, no, I don't really remember. I remember them saying repeat after me, and I'm like, well, that don't sound right. And then it's like, so like just say it, just let the Lord use you.
Yeah.
But there's like pressure, like I gotta say something. Like what, like, and it's just like, I don't know, this is weird. I don't, I growing up, I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, they got bars, they out here freestyling. They got Pastor Twister up there. but like when you try to make someone do it, it's like, then I feel like it's a gift. Like, and some people don't have the gift. I don't like people making people do stuff because one of the biggest gifts that God has given us is choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if He don't make you do nothing, how you gonna make me?
I can see why that could alienate some people, because if you go into church and you see everyone falling down and you go up there and you know in your mind that you're not falling today, you kind of feel like that peer pressure, like, should I? Mm-hmm. Nah, I just won't come back. Like, I'm not going to go up to the altar no more if they trying to make me.
Yeah. You got about 2 times to hit me in my head, yo.
Fall back.
One time, and then I'm bobbing and weaving, like, no, but so I get the, so biblically I understand like oil, right? Anointing with oil and the blessing that comes with that, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really understood the falling out as well. Like, and you see pastors, you see in the YouTube videos of ridiculous stuff. People like, the door kit, like Kamehameha people to the ground, like, and I'm like, all right, we playing church or we? So I don't know. But actually, being at the altar is a very vulnerable position. I can say that. So when you go, on your own strength to the altar, like if the Lord calls you in your spirit to the altar, I fully believe anything can happen. Because I've definitely been weeping and on my knees, and it's not like I have been moments where I lost myself, and someone had to tell me, "Yo, bro, you was out there filled." I'm like, yo, I don't even remember. So I get that. But my thing is, you can't force certain things,
So
and I know as
question, what do you feel that's about? Do you feel like it's the actual decision, like God is actually calling you to the altar, like to take steps in faith? Because I guess a lot of people don't like to go up to the altar, or is it hitting you from in your seat and you just got to go closer to the man of God that's bringing the word? Like, what is it?
Yeah, so it's a little combination. It's like God is, so when the pastor makes a plea, it's usually, and you feel that, it's usually because of something that's been on your heart, you're going through, and you want to be washed of it. Like the altar is repentance, man. It's like, I need help and I need a change, right? I need a healing. The doctors ain't doing it. I need God. I made bad decisions. The way I'm doing life, I need God. Like it says vulnerable, like decision, like I need God only, right? The altar is like repentance. I need God. I don't want me no more. So I understand how when you get there, God takes over. Totally understand that. My thing is like, so it's definitely stirring your spirit. And it usually comes from the message, like he's saying something, and he's like, dang. You'd be like, the pastor's talking to me. I'm tired of him coming to my house, knocking on my door, getting in my life. I ain't ready to confront this yet. And the Lord is like, we're going to confront this right now. And then that's the pull. And then that's when you get there, and that's when it's like, cool. And that's the God moment. But you can't force that. Like, you can't save people. That's why I like the term winning souls, because you don't win souls. God takes, God is the soul. Like you show God to people and they choose whether to receive it. But you don't be like, 1-1. Like, come on. That's not even, you can't control someone else's thing. God, the Holy Spirit in that person did that. Now you were obedient and you showed God to other people. And come to you and say, thank you for your service, veteran. But that's about it.
I guess I never thought about that before, like winning souls. Because if you don't get that person, then does that mean you lost that soul?
That's what I'm saying.
Like it sounds crazy.
That's the weight that you don't want. That's God's weight. Like you don't even want that weight. You go into a room, pastors go over to the thing. They preach that good word. They up there, they prepare the night before, points. They got alliteration. They got I got 4 good points. They all begin with P's, S's, and they thinking, and they get up there, come to the altar, and then no one comes, right? And then hey, you're like, this is a good word. I hope someone gets saved. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're already saved or whatever, but like, you can't have that weight. Like, I didn't save anybody today, because you don't save. Only God saves. Jesus saves. You know what I'm saying?
And would God even say, if I didn't lose the soul, did God lose the soul? Like who, other than that person in that, to make that decision lost, but them, right?
That's why I don't like the term win and loss. Go ahead.
But I don't think it's winning or losing. Like you don't, like you said, it's not on you. So like all you can do is like introduce them, lead them, tell your story, or like whatever to introduce them to God or religion or whatever. But like it's all you're doing is being like the vessel to use them. Like you're just like everything else that happens afterwards. So it's the same thing when you're talking about going to the altar. Like a lot of times, like that's why a lot of times when they ask you like to receive salvation, they'll give you time to get up there because it's a decision. But even when they have stuff on the altar for healing and stuff, like you have to make that choice to get up and go. So like if you make that choice to get up and go, like you don't know how God's going to work on you after you do that. But like you have to make that choice to get up and go. Like if you just sit in your seat and stay back there, I'm not going to say you're not going to be healed, but it's something about taking that step or that next step. You hear a lot of sermons about like God will do whatever in your life, but you got to make that first step. So if you make that first step and that during that time, because a lot of times, like the spirit is moving in church. So like if a spirit is moving and that topic or whatever they're talking about relates to you, and you could feel it on your heart a lot of times if it's something you're going through or something that you need. And like a lot of times people miss out. Like if you don't take that step and you just stay in your seat, you might miss out on your blessing or something that was supposed to happen to you. I've seen people who, when they do the altar call and they went up and they got saved and then like they passed away not too long after. So like that time might have been their opportunity to go up there and receive salvation. So you if something's on your heart or something's heavy on your heart and something's telling you to do it, you do it. That's why you said when you went up there, you felt that experience. Like, and if you just go up there just because everyone's going up there, you might not have the same feeling. So like when they go up there and they call the kids up there to pray for you before you go to school, like you're not going to have the same feeling. You're just going to stand up there because you have to stand up there. And But if it's something really on your heart, you're gonna make that choice to go up there. It's not just because like they told you to go up there or everybody's up there.
Yeah, that's good.
That's interesting. I guess I'm skeptical more about that with like the example you just gave of the person, they had the chance and then they pass away soon after that. Because I'm kind of the belief that they could be saved right there in their seat because that's between them and God, not a walk to the altar.
I agree. I agree. But a lot of times it's taking a step. So, and some people can't. So like they'll tell you like I like a lot of times when they say you could just sit in your seat and just repeat this prayer after me. But sometimes you have to take a step. And like you're not just gonna stay in your job and just be comfortable wherever you are or like, oh, I don't have this promotion. Like you have to take a step to get that promotion or apply to it. If you're just sitting there, like they can see you doing the work and or whatever, but they might overlook you because you haven't taken that next step. So you just have to make a step.
Would you say that's more metaphorical though? Like the step, like because you could step down there when they call it, but not really receive Jesus in your heart, and everyone could treat you like you received Jesus.
Well, but that's on that person. Like it's the same thing when you take communion. Like you don't do it, you do it. You speak damnation. Like if you go up there and it's not really in your heart. Like I've seen people go up there every week to receive salvation, and I don't know their story. Maybe they backslid every single week and they have to go up there. But like, yeah, you're not just gonna go up there every single time to do something. Like if you're not doing it genuinely or it's not like a genuine thing and you're just doing it just to do it, yeah, you're probably not just gonna have that same effect.
Yeah.
But if it's genuine to you and you do it, like, yeah, God will work on you. But if it's not genuine, you don't think God knows if you're just going up there just because?
Yeah, I agree. It's like, first of all, you don't know anyone's heart or relationship with God. The thing about being a Christian and it's all personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with like taking a step, Now it don't have to be a step in public, but I like how like pastors give you the opportunity to take that step before God. And I'm not saying if you don't want it to, like, what if you're in a wheelchair, you got to roll up, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's the actual step, but it's the opportunity. Like, this is
right.
the step, right? So if you decide to take that step publicly or take that step privately, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And hopefully you don't die shortly after.
Yeah.
That was just sorry, that was an extreme. But I'm just saying, like just so you don't miss your opportunity. And I've seen that happen. So like and it's more of if something's on your heart, do it because you don't know what's going to happen, and you say, oh yeah, that person could have had their chance to do this or change their lives, but they didn't. It's the same thing. Like if somebody, I don't know if this happens to y'all, but like someone called me up this week and they called me saying like, yo, you were on my mind. I was thinking about you. And so I don't know what reason they were thinking about me, but like a lot of times that's happened to me when I'm thinking of someone and I'm like, I got to go visit that person. I got to go see them. And something happens and it's just like, yeah, I missed my chance. So they pass away and you're just like, man, I should have went when I was going to go. So I'm just saying more of if something's on your heart, do it because like you might miss your opportunity or you might miss your chance. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, good. We talked to Amaret shared about his story about, being involved in church and, his really commitment to be like, this youth thing's not for me. I'm going to stay with the main regular service. So his experience is different than mine because, I was trying to follow all the cool high schoolers, probably for the opposite reasons. Same reason Amaret left. That's probably why I stayed. But
it was drama too. It was a lot of drama.
Right. But Ken, your situation is different. Like you're a Spady, and I feel like the whole Spady, Anderson, Lockett is like like if you guys were in Game of Thrones, you guys
put my name out there for the public.
You probably have your own territory. You'd be a warden of the North or something like that. Yeah. How does it feel coming from such a respected family in church? Like, is there pressure that comes with that, or?
Listen, when people still say stuff like that, I don't understand it. like they say, oh yeah, you're Spady or you're this. I'm like, oh, you know, that's just our family. Like it's nothing major. And I feel like it's the same thing with like the Granums. Like they, it's like, oh, we're just like we're just a normal family. But I've seen how people interact with like other people in my family. They don't necessarily interact with me the same way, but I'm just like in the line. So like people see me now. It played a part of me growing up because I couldn't like misbehave because they knew I was a Spady or they knew I was an Anderson, and like they know who to go to sort of reprimand me. So I had to be on my P's and Q's growing up. Like I didn't have the same like freedom, I guess. But yeah, I don't think things were much different. I always had like friends in the church because I had family, or I knew everybody, or they knew me. Even like still to the day, like people see me and like, oh, hi Ken, or oh, you're. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I still don't know who a lot of people are, but they know who you are based on based on your family, which is good and bad sometimes.
What's some of the bad parts about it?
I remember I was at like I was hanging out with friends and we went out somewhere and it was like a bar type scene and some somebody saw me and they came up to me. They say, "Oh, aren't you a Spady?" I said, "Huh? Who are you?" And she said, "Oh, why are you here? Oh, you shouldn't be here. I'm gonna let your family know if you're out here." I said, "Who are you? You're in the same place that I am. Like, but who are you first off?" And like, but like, yeah, people just knowing who you are or knowing who you are because of your family.
Yeah.
Like, cause with Tim, like, I went to a concert. Somebody looked back and like some dude just kept looking at me, and I had to look at him like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" And he's just like, "Oh, are you Tim? Are you Tim's brother?" I said, "Why are you you sort of have to look at people a certain way? What are you asking me this information for?"
Yeah.
But it's
for
just
those
like
that
people
don't know
know,
who is Tim.
huh? Tim's my
For those that
brother,
don't know who is Tim,
my brother.
but how does that
He's
relate?
like the he's like the assistant minister of music at the church. Does music, but
No,
like they see him,
he just does.
they see they see him in the front, or they see my cousins in the front, or my grandmom and grandfather were pastors. Like my whole family is up there, so I'm not up there. I like to stay in the background, but but people still know who you are, and it's like I don't know, like a good and bad thing. But I'm not gonna get into a lot of it because but like certain, like yeah, it's not like it's like yeah, people. I don't want people like for me. I don't want people to know who I am. I like to stay hidden in the background. That's why I always said Amrit was lucky because Amrit sort of had his coming out party after college of people really knowing who he
I
is.
didn't know he existed. We're the same age.
So yeah, he tells stories about like being there for you and this and that. I'm like, I was there my whole time. You're only a year older than me. I would remember you. I don't remember you at all.
We sat in the same row.
I'm talking about before that. I don't remember you going to this stuff. But I said that's like a benefit. I'm saying that's like a benefit because I said like, yeah, growing up in the church and having your pat like, oh, you're just like your grandfather. Oh, you're just like your brother. Or you're just like this. I'm just like, yeah, thank you, but bye. Have a good day. I don't really want to talk to you, and I like to stay in the back. But that's a good thing about Amrit because you were able to sort of stay on the low. I couldn't stay on the low.
And I chose to be in the spotlight. I was like, y'all don't know me. No,
everybody knows you. Everybody.
Yeah, my sister.
I think people know you more than they know like my family. I'm like everybody knows Ricky.
We got different situations. I feel like my family, we came, so it's just me, my mom, and my dad who came to the church first. So then we brought, we tried to extend the invitation to our other family members.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always a friendly kid. So I'm like, being the only child, you guys come from big families or just siblings in general. I'm the only child. So it's like, I always was like, I need to make friends. Like,
right.
A lonely kid. So that's just been my MO and it kind of never changed. So yeah, we all have our different stories growing up in the church, man.
and so many people have so many different like views about. So even our views, someone else will have a different point of view of where they're coming from. Because even like you said, in the church, like I'm and like that's why they say you got to be friendly or whatever. I was never like the friendly person. Like
For sure.
I wasn't like you. I wasn't like
Sure.
I'm still not the friendly person. Like I'm the person like once I get to know people, like we're cool with each other. But just on the surface, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I thought you didn't like me for the long. I was like, why you don't like me, man? What's going on? What I
no,
do?
it's not even it's
Like
not
I
even
didn't like
that.
you. I didn't.
No, it's not even I don't because I don't say I don't like anybody. I'm just like, huh.
There's
I just
nobody you
don't
don't
care.
like. There's
I
nobody you
just
don't
don't
like.
no, I'm saying it's just I just don't I don't think about it. Like if I walk past someone and I don't say hello or whatever, it's not that I don't like you, it's just that I don't care. Like I'm not thinking about that person. Like I see my friends and I don't even say what's up all the time. But like if I'm cool with someone, I'll go up and I'm more friendly with them.
Question.
But if I don't know, I'm not just a person to go and introduce myself and be that friendly guy. It's like I can do with or without you.
Question. So like LeBron said, the Warriors are known for their strength in numbers. Do you feel like you get that comfort because you have so much family in the church that I don't really need nobody?
That's a really good question.
Ricky
I
said that
think
he had to, find friends and it's him and his mom and his dad. And so that's three. You guys are like, it feels 50 deep. I know it's not that much, but
You guys are Spartan. 300.
at one point it might have been 50 deep. But no, like, and I had cousins in my same age range. I had brothers and sisters in that, like, who went to church with me. So I was always around people, and I always had my cousins who were my friends and that. So I wasn't always going out looking for friends, so or looking for people to interact with. I
Don't make
always
me sound
either
pathetic, yo. You up here making me.
no, no, I'm just saying, like, I had my cousins there, so I had a comfort level with them. Like, if I just went there and it was just me or just me and my siblings, um, yeah, I still wouldn't interact as much. But that's why I said it was different because people already know who I am. So even when I got to like children's church and stuff, they're like, "Oh, Ken, oh, we already know Ken," or this and that. When they're asking names and stuff, it's certain things that, like, if you want to stay under the radar, you can't. But it was a comfort. And yeah, because I was deep, I knew, I
I
was
could jump
50 deep.
somebody in the parking lot, like really.
No, people always joke about like my grandfather saying he could have just started his own church and had like his family as like the
Yeah.
members because like we went to small churches like
And the
100
steps.
deep. We went to small churches like 100 deep as a family, and like we took over the whole church. But yeah, I think I felt the comfort level in that. Like I didn't have to go around the people because yeah,
So second
it's
part,
strength in
second
numbers.
part, real quick, second part, because it seemed like every like meeting, every little group I go to, Spades is like there, like always there. Like you guys are really involved, and so not you don't got to answer specifically for yourself, but overall, do you feel like when a family is so deep in the church that it affects the walk of the individual, like their walk in faith? Like, is it just a tradition thing? Like my family's going, so I got to go.
Mhm.
If they wasn't here, I
Mhm.
probably wouldn't be here. Like, you understand?
I understand. And I say maybe to some level, I've had family members who were in the church and grew up in the church, and they go to a different church, maybe because of that reason. And sometimes you want your own identity. You don't always want to be in that same space. But I know for me, like the young adults, they're doing like this book club where they like the Pastor Todd book. And so where they're talking about relationships and stuff. And there's certain topics, I'm like, oh, my cousin's gonna be in there, my sister's gonna be in that group. Nah, I'm good. I'm not going to talk with them about like certain subjects. You ain't gonna find me in there. And like even when we get to that point, if we're in groups, because like we go to, it's a bunch of us. So yeah, we're in different groups or different meetings. But if we talk on certain subjects, I'll stand back and not speak on it. And I've had other family members speak on things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know they thought that way. But they never gonna find out what I have to say because I'm not opening up. I'm not opening up to strangers, but I'm not opening like I probably will. I wouldn't even open up to strangers, but I'm not gonna talk on the same level knowing my family's like in that same atmosphere.
Why not?
Because it's just certain things that you don't discuss with your family, I feel like, or certain things they don't need to know. Like, yeah, like
That's
I
a
don't know.
tough. So, wow. So your family being like your closest friends has like pros and cons. It's like I'm always going to have the support and love, but I can't come to them with everything because they're also my family.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's tough. I never.
That's just me.
I mean,
It's not tough. It's not tough because I don't open up to many people, so it ain't no different. But I'm just saying, like, especially with that marriage thing, like when they like, and I had to ask them before I said I'm going to even commit to read this book. Like, what are y'all talking about? And they started talking about relationships and marriage, but then they talk about like physical relationships and stuff. I said, oh yeah, no, I'm not talking with my sister about that. I'm not talking with my cousin about that. No, no, sir. That's like you having like, could you be in the marriage? Could you be like in the marriage ministry with your parents and stuff? And you, like, I'm not trying to hear how my parents conceive me.
Right. No, I get you. So like that was a very close reality. But I think of them like as my parents. Like I feel like maybe that's the only like close family relationship I had was with my parents. So I guess like I always put my parents, but I think everyone puts their parents in a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like your siblings, like because I know Amron and your like you and Nadia are tight.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like y'all talk about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Definitely.
like Kian and Kia, they're not the same type of communication relationship like that.
Yeah, like I would feel comfortable. I guess that's why I asked the question, like, because I guess it's different strokes for different folks, people pick and choose. But from what Ken's saying, it sounds like for the most part, he's saying that everyone grows and having the family in the church makes you go deeper in the faith, I guess. But at certain times, it's like you still need to be an individual and go off and explore things on your own. It can't always be family for every single thing because it's weird after a while. Like,
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah, but that's actually a really good question. I'd actually be that's something I'm probably going to ask my cousins and my siblings, just because they had those experiences.
So, do you have someone you can talk to about certain things? Like do you have someone? And this is for both of you. Do you have someone in your life that you can talk to about everything?
I feel like this is like a self-help portion. Like,
everything. A lot. Like I talked to Amrit about a bunch of stuff. But I talked to my brother about certain things, but there's certain things I'm not going to talk to my brother about. Or I talk to my sister about certain things. Like I have people for certain topics or certain experiences or things that I talk about. I don't share everything with everyone. But yeah, I sort of pick and choose. And yeah, my mindset is, yeah, I don't share everything with everyone because I think differently than others. So I'm like, you're not gonna have all this ammunition on me in case you like you ain't gonna be able to divulge my whole life story.
So like when people if people come to you, would you use it as ammunition towards them?
I would hope that people wouldn't come to me, honestly.
Wasn't expecting.
But like no, I've had people come to me and like share like things that I don't think they need to share with me, but like it happens.
Would you use that as ammunition against them later on?
No, because usually it's people. I'm not gonna say it's been sometimes people that I don't even really know like that like share like personal details.
What do you call ammunition, Ricky?
So like Ken said at first, so I'm just trying to use what he said. Like if you open up to somebody, they can have something over you. I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting. Like they might be able to bring it up.
So
and use it.
So again. I have other friends, and I have friends who say they're gonna go into politics or whatever. And I joke around a lot, but sometimes I'm serious. Sometimes it's joking. But like I'm like, yo, if you ever go into politics, you better, you better make sure I'm good. Or if you ever get rich, you got to make sure I'm good because the book's coming out or something's coming out,
right?
And like you got to keep me quiet,
right? But you're saying that in jest, right?
I say it in jest only because they haven't gotten rich yet. So if they get rich, who knows what happens? I might just start going Prodigy and start making a book.
Okay. So what about you, Amber? Like, do you have that person?
Yeah, I got my wife, my parents, my sister, even Steve and my little brother Kian. you know, I feel like I try to be open on most things and speak my mind. So I don't really worry about that. I don't really talk with that many people to begin with. And the people that I do talk with, I trust. And if you hear me tell you something, it's most likely that I trust you, or I don't care if you do spread it. Like it don't,
Right.
you understand? I'm not going to tell you something super crazy that's going to have that you could use that against me in a way. Like certain things I feel like you should keep to yourself, honestly. Like
yeah, so when you guys are both that use things against you, and like that's kind of like a fear of like holding back. That's weird because it's not weird. Like I understand because of course, like I don't want someone to take my vulnerability and then use it against me. But you know, I just feel, and I'm just gonna plug it in. I know you two situations are different, but like, you know, I know you can't get to a certain point without people. Like you need to confide. Like God, of course, but you know, God uses people, right? So like no one will know what you're going through, or no one can help you if you don't open up. And I don't want either or anyone watching to feel like they can't. There's no one that they can turn to. So like if you don't trust anybody in your life right now, you can always turn to God. But if you're trying to like, you know, if there is someone that you think you can trust, but you have to get over your own hurdles, I just want to encourage, you know, you guys to do reach out and try to think like, you know, because I asked you guys, would you use it if someone like if I open up to y'all about something and then like, would y'all use it against me? And I know Keenan made a joke about his friends getting rich with politics, but like I generally like if it's a person that's in your life for a reason, you know, they would treat it like you would, you know, they wouldn't try to use something against you.
Yeah.
And let me clarify that too, because it also depends on the situation. So if someone comes to me and it's something really, really serious, I'll take it serious. But I'm just thinking like you have friends who you grow up with that you know, and you know all the details about their life. I'm thinking more in that way. Like, yeah, I know where the skeletons are buried. But if someone comes with like a certain situation that they're going through, I'm saying again, hopefully they don't come to me with that because
you're not gonna be in the counseling industry, bro.
I don't know what I could do for you, except for listen. I'll listen, but yeah, I'll pray for you. But like for me, like if something's going on with me, like they have people at the church, but I'm not just gonna sit and tell like someone at the church that I don't really know, even if I know them, you know, everything that's happening. Like I'm just not gonna share those details because a lot of times in my mind, I'm like, why do you need to know? Like you don't need to know this. And people ask you questions. I've been in places where people ask you questions and it might not even feel that personal, but it's personal enough that I'm not going to share it publicly and with you guys. So it's like
that's the thing.
Because it wasn't even something real personal. It was something like I think Mother's Day was coming up, and they were asking like, "Oh, what's one of your greatest memories with your mom?" or something like that. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's between me and my mom. Like, y'all don't need to know about it." But that's just me. I'm not sharing even those type of details. I'm not sharing with the common person just to share it.
Okay.
It's situational. It's like Ricky, like say you go to, like say, not you. Let's not use you as an example. But say a guy go to church and he's known in the church, and he goes, you know, to the front for prayer, and he whispers to a person that he doesn't really know, like, "Yo, I'm addicted. Like, yo, this crack got me. Like, it got me open." And the person prayed for them.
That's wait. That's why they don't. I don't want them to come to me because you see my reaction right now. Don't come to me with something that heavy. I can't take it.
I laugh because he said it. I wouldn't laugh at someone else.
But you know this.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
That church, you know, church people they gossip.
Yo, that's a whole nother podcast, bro.
That person wouldn't be safe. I can tell you. I don't care who's up there. It's going to get out. They go, Craig got me. If they ever take the altar for anything, that's going to be a first thing. And it's not even, people don't do it on purpose. It kind of just slip out like, you know, they on that stuff.
I have learned that pastors are supposed to hold that weight. of discretion and not secrecy, but like confidence, right? Would you trust going to your lead head pastor, executive pastor, with the personal things? Because I could personally say I've told him stuff that my parents don't know.
Yeah.
And I kind of tested the waters too, first off. I was like, let me drop this over here and see if it gets back over here. But like, I can say that, you know, I'm like, okay. And that's a whole different thing because like pastors have to hold a lot of stuff.
It depends on how personal, honestly. Like for the pastor now, like for Bishop, I wouldn't come to Bishop and I don't think I would tell him anything personally. But I feel like I do have like a
because
personal
of our relationship, or just like you
because of the relationship. Like we like yeah, it wasn't like, you know, with the pastor now, like we text and talk all the time, but I still don't think I think there's levels to it. Like I'm not going to share something too personal with my pastor. We'll talk about the games, we'll talk about sports, we'll talk about whatever. But like if he asked me like a personal question, like he might get left on red because I'm probably not answering it. Like or I don't know how to answer it. Like
that's funny.
No, the pastor
it's a level.
The pastor texts you like, yo, how's your dating life? You won't respond.
I would respond, but it wouldn't be. The answer would be me getting away from the question. Like I wouldn't answer the question.
I see it opposite. Like I actually I would feel more comfortable going to Bishop, and I have gone to Bishop before, spoken with him at least about personal things, and I have I guess, greater level of trust there than with our current pastor, just because I don't know him as well, and I don't know any of them personally. Let me not say that, but just I've seen Bishop longer. But overall, I would go to not just pastors, but deacons. I'll trust you until you give me reason not to trust you.
Right.
And it depends on how you move as a person. Even if you're a deacon, I'm looking at you before I even go up to talk to you, meaning years in advance. So if you seem like a chatty person, I'm not going to come to you.
For sure. So I'm gonna close because we're running out of time. But the vibe I get is like it's relational. Like Ken has a relationship with someone more. You're more likely to open up to people you have already established relationship with. Also, like I don't care about your title. I care about like what I see from you, like your walk. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if I have great friends, I have you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like I know your walk. Like I see that you are trustworthy from what I can get, and that's from years of knowing you guys, whatever. Or like either my other friends. So like I see their walk, so I'm more like I don't care what your title is. I see some ministers, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Or I see some ministers like I feel comfortable. I don't even know you, but I watched you. I'll feel like I can share this with you. So like, you know, you can have Joe Smoes, who you seem be great people and trustworthy attributes, or you know, ministers, deacons, pastors. But I feel like it's your walk. Like, show me that you're trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this is good, guys.
Yeah. Quick question, Ricky. Yeah. Have you ever had the fear, and maybe this is just me, that like you were going to tell like a pastor something and they were going to turn your story into a message and bring you up in front of the church? Because that's one of my personal little fears right there. Like I feel like I've seen it happen time and time again, and that person goes up there and they don't look too comfortable.
Right.
So ironically, I'm the opposite. Like if I confide in a pastor who gives the word, and they give a word to what I'm going through, that's what isn't that what you want though?
No, not what you're going through, about what you went through. So if they take your situation and they use it in their sermon, like they don't have to drop your name, but
no, what if they do?
You know it's
no, you ain't dropping names. You ain't dropping.
What if they do? What if they drop your name?
Oh, then the trust is gone.
I mean, what if they tell you first, like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this message." Like you seen.
Don't tell me you're gonna drop my name. You can ask me. Don't tell me.
No. It's not even dropping names. If they make it so people know it's you, I know.
Oh no.
We had a guest speaker get up there and give a message, and he was talking about like a girl that he liked or when he was in high school, and he said certain things that everyone else in the church was just like, oh, I know who he's talking about. Like if they say it to something where, oh yeah, oh, and they don't say your name, but everything's pointing to you.
They do it without my permission. If they do it without my permission, it's a problem. Oh yeah.
So what if they ask you? Some people aren't strong enough to say no. You know, they feel like they put in the corner. Like, should I stop this word of God from reaching the masses?
I don't think that it has to be. No, you got to ask. No, and I don't think if you add like, "Hey, thank you for sharing this with me," like, is it okay if I? No, I really want this. I don't think anyone was like
y'all.
Now, if they say it during the sermon, you're in this situation. But if they come to you first, I feel like they're coming to you in a place where you can be like, no, or they can read that vibe from you. Like, don't no.
Yo, what if they come to you? What if they say, yo, I'm telling you, God told me this. He laid it on my spirit. This message is going to capture about 5 souls, my brother.
I'm like, first of all, your mindset is messed up. That's not how we just talked about.
Souls.
This ain't a game, my brother.
That's a really good question, though.
No, I get you. No, you would have. Don't surprise me. Don't surprise that person. So,
but sometimes you don't know. So, like pastors, they talk to a lot of people in the church. So even with us talking now, like if we bring up a certain situation and it's about someone else, you didn't mean to bring it up. You didn't plan to bring it up, but sometimes it relates to what you're talking about. If they're in the middle of the sermon, it relates to what they're talking about. Like, but you know it's about you.
We would have a problem.
Like if you're one of them people who you said, "Oh, I was on crack," if they say, "Oh yeah, this yeah,
my brother's struggling out there,"
I know it's about me.
No, we would have a problem. We would have a serious problem.
You pretty much saying your testimony is your testimony. You have license over that testimony.
Unless ask me. Like there's some things that like if I'm coming to you and I share a testimony, and you're like, man, can I? And I'm like, yeah. But if I'm like, no, I'm not over that. It's not done. We mid-story. Like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you bring me up in your sermon and I don't know that this is happening or we haven't had dialogue, we're gonna have a conversation.
So well, oh no, I was gonna say this, Mike. If they use my story in their sermon, when they collect that speaker's offering, I want to cut.
Amen. Amen. Because you ain't do no preparation. I could have did that. I could put my story, put some Bible verses to it. All right, on that note, we got to end, guys. This was great. This was fun, man. I got my man Amrit, my man Kian, and ironically, they have their own podcast, guys. They have their own podcast called However. Is it only on Instagram, or can they find it? Where can they find your podcast, guys?
Right now, it's exclusively on Instagram, but we're starting up, so later on you'll be able to catch it everywhere. But however,
I heard that term before, exclusively.
However, the podcast.
The podcast.
I don't even know if we can bring up how we came up with the name because it goes against that whole thing you're talking about, smashing up the CDs and listening to music. We got it from Biggie Small.
It's a Biggie line.
Hey man, look. Mine's is I got mine from church, so I don't know. We're on different sides of the spectrum here. Turn to your neighbor, however, the
whole time I was on here, I was saying, yo, greet somebody. Like that might have to be your theme song.
That would be dope.
I don't got enough money to pay every time I got an episode. But man, I like it. However, turn to your neighbor, best of both worlds, Jay-Z, R. Kelly. Wait, no, we can't do that.
No, we can't do that. Great album, though.
I'll still say the best. Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's better.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all, man, helping me out. This was really fun, guys.
We appreciate you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us on. Yeah. Or if we get Pastor Oliver next time, that would be a crazy, crazy conversation.
Yo, man, he's definitely on the guest list.
He'd be willing to talk.
Yeah, he's definitely on the guest list. Mm-hmm. Man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the people who were watching, made it to the end. I appreciate y'all, man. Look, if y'all like the video, man, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. We're dropping new videos every Tuesday. All right. And drop in the comment section, what do you want us to talk about? What do you want to hear next? All right. So share this with a friend, share this with a neighbor. And until next time, peace, y'all. Awesome.